G'day, Starlo here. It's the first morning of the Pirtek Challenge and I'm out here on the water with Joe. We've fished just about every Pirtek Challenge since they started. It's a great nationwide event and it's for a really good cause, prostate cancer research. We're going to fish a couple of our local estuaries. There's quite a long list of target species for us here in New South Wales, but we're particularly going to try and target a big brim, maybe a flathead, maybe a tailor. There's luderick, there's also whiting, and we might even come across a bass, who knows. We're just hoping to score a few fish. But I've made things a little bit interesting today because I know a lot of you out there look at the stuff that we do with all the electronics and everything, and particularly the bow mounted electric motors, and think, yeah, but how do I do that kind of fishing without that stuff? So I've taken our motor guide off the front of the boat and we're going to fish today without an electric and show you some alternative ways of lure fishing the estuaries with no bow mounted electric. All right, let's get going. We've kicked off on one of our local estuary systems that's currently closed to the sea, so it has no tides. It's a spot where we've caught good brim in the past, but we know it's going to be a little bit different fishing it without our bow mounted electric motor and its quiet pinpoint manoeuvring. However, as they say, where there's a will, there's a way. So one of the ways to fish without an electric, of course, is to use an anchor of some sort. I've just got a small anchor here, which I'm going to attach to the stern of the boat and just feed it slowly into the water as we drift down on the spot where we want to fish. And we should be able to hold ourselves in position nice and quietly because we're fairly close to the fish. It's only a couple of metres deep. I'll let out a little bit of rope. We've got a very light west-northwest breeze blowing this morning, and if I let a little bit of rope out, we'll yaw around slightly on the rope, so we'll be able to cover a little bit more ground. But we're coming to within casting distance of an area where I've caught fish before. There's a couple of submerged snags here. Both Joe and I are casting small squidgies Wriggler soft plastics rigged on 2 and 3 gram jig heads, and for comparison purposes, Joe's applied some S-Factor to hers and I've left mine unscented. Coming up to join you. We may have decided to leave the electric motor at home, but we've kept our sounder GPS units. They're almost essential on this relatively featureless body of water. Bit of weight there. It only takes a few seconds for the lures to hit the bottom, and then we work them with a series of rod lifts and jigs, allowing them to sink back to the lake bed between each lift. Nice and slow is the way to go. Don't rush it. Cover all the water within casting range. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm wearing my inflatable vest, it's because I've got my fly and dry launch boots on. I love these things, but I don't fancy swimming in them.
Yep.
Oh, well done. The old S-Factor. That's a brim too. It's first blood to Joe, and I reckon it's the right species, if not the right size.
Small.
Yeah, he's not a giant, is he? Oh, he might be a bit bigger than you think. He's coming this way. Joe opts to lift this little brim in and swing it aboard. Well, it's the right kind.
Cutie. I'll get a photo for the women in
Yeah.
recreational fishing league. No, so I can do it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure you're going to get bigger ones. I was right too. She was on a bit of a roll.
Oh, that's a better one.
Yeah, that's a good fish. Oh, he's up on top. Grab the net.
Still only small. No
Let's
net
lift him in.
required.
He's a
Bit better.
centimetre longer. There's been a couple of good spawnings in here by the looks of things.
Oh, he's holding on to
He's
that.
got it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was just in the corner of the jaw. Perfect.
Okay, let him go there. Beautiful. I know when I'm beaten. Time to end our little experiment and reach for some S-Factor myself. When I first apply it, I like to put a reasonable amount on and spread it all over the plastic, including right down to the end of the tail and the jig head. Subsequent reapplications, which I do every 20 minutes or so, don't have to be quite as thorough. But I tell you what, I feel a lot more confident with this stuff on my lures. It really works. And there's nothing quite like pinning a fish first cast after applying the S factor to confirm that fact. I think that's what psychologists would call positive reinforcement. Yeah, he's alright. Yeah, we'll net him. Thank you. Not that big. Nice though. Handsome devil. My brim's a little bit bigger, but still not what we're looking for. Worth putting on the Pirtek challenge mat and measuring though. It's not going to score a place at just 33 centimetres to the tail tips, but there's always the mystery length categories. You've got to be in it to win it. With it being so calm this morning, I reckon we might need a change of strategy to find a bigger brim. Well, there's so little wind, I'm actually going to pull the anchor in and just let us have a drift. We might cover a bit more ground that way and hopefully find a better concentration of fish. It's always interesting to have a look at what the composition of the bottom's like too. Mud embedded with shells and gravel. Oh, little cockles. Look at that, that's a little cockle. And that's the sort of thing that the brim are crunching on. By lifting our anchor, I've allowed us to drift slowly and cover some new ground, including a couple of submerged logs in 3 or 4 metres of water. Load of brim right under us. We're only 12 metres. I'd say they've come out to have a look. And Joe wastes no time in taking advantage of this change in tactics.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Good. That's what we're after. Solid fish too.
Yeah.
That's great. Keep him off that tree.
There's a really, oh yeah. Yep, that's better.
Stay up there.
So not even a discernible.
Oh, that's a knot. Oh my God.
How thick is it?
Oh,
Thank you, John.
that's a beastie. Oh, well, we got. See, look, it's our good luck omen cricket.
How good is that fishy? He's got some ears on him.
Yeah.
That's a big old bruiser.
We'll do some measuring with that one, I
Oh
think.
my God, yes.
I'll give you that.
Thank you. Wow, that's a cracker.
Oh, yeah.
Thick,
Nice.
thick
There's
fish.
the girth on that.
Yeah.
It's a pity it's not on weight, love.
Yeah. Look how wide he is.
Just a perfect. See, that's from him chewing barnacles and things. That's why they get bleeding lips. That's not
Yeah,
actually
right.
from the lure. He's been crunching away on some barnacles and stuff down there.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get your map. It's got to be 42, 43. Oh no, he's, yeah.
Yeah, he's 42 and a half.
Photo time, and a very worthwhile Pirtek entry for Joe, although we both know it won't be big enough to score a place. Still, a damn nice fish. It's made Joe's morning.
Ready?
Yep.
Good fish.
With a couple of brim on our tally, including a nice one, we make the decision to pull the pin on this lake and head to a nearby tidal system in the hope of finding some of the other eligible species for the Pirtek challenge. She might just go when I undo it, we'll see. Having now launched the boat on the Churros system, we head out in search of more action. Repeated flood events through spring, summer and early autumn have kept the estuary a bit coloured up, but it's still fishing reasonably well. This is literally in our backyard and we always enjoy spending time on this pretty waterway, not least because it's so easy to pull into the busy boat shed for a coffee or a bite of lunch. We kick off by rigging and casting a few squidgy soft plastics while we're drifting in the area immediately adjacent to the boat shed. This is usually a fairly productive zone. And sure enough, there are plenty of small, willing flathead on the chew today.
They're getting bigger. If I got another 5 or 6, I'd probably get a legal one.
However, these sub-legal and barely legal dusky flathead definitely aren't what we're looking for at the moment. And although flathead are an eligible species for the Pirtek Challenge here in New South Wales, we reckon our chances of crossing paths with a more decent specimen are not particularly high at the moment due to the conditions. So, as keen as the flatties are to play, we eventually bite the bullet and make the decision to try something else. A shift to the third option available when you've got no bow-mounted electric motor, and that's trolling. Joe and I make no secret of the fact that trolling is our least favourite style of fishing, but that doesn't mean we never do it. Trolling lures like these brilliant RT Broughton smashers behind a moving boat is actually a highly effective method of finding and catching fish. We've opted for baitcaster rigs now, and we carefully adjust their drags, setting them slightly lighter than we would if we were casting to allow for the forward momentum of the boat. Lures are cast astern and a little more line let out. We want our divers down somewhere near the bottom and occasionally making contact with it. Getting the speed just right can be critical, and that's where the variable trolling switch, or VTS, on the Yammy comes in handy, allowing us to tweak and fine-tune our idle revs.
Yeah, look, the tailor have split that schooler.
Monitoring the sounder is also critical, as, in our opinion, is hand-holding your rod and working that lure. Sticking the outfit in a holder and blindly trolling around is not only boring for us, it's also less productive.
Oh, that's got a bit of weight, love.
Double hookup, gotta love that.
Oh, yours is a tailor. Mine might be a tailor too then. Oh, come over. Oh, mine's a bit bigger. It's a nice tailor.
Tailor are one of the more common predators in the estuaries and another eligible Pirtek Challenge species for us in New South Wales.
Thank you.
At less than 40 centimetres, these are reasonable choppers for the estuary and great fun to catch, but a long way short of potential category winners in the Pirtek.
Wow, mine wasn't going to get off.
After measuring and releasing my tailor, we're back into it and Joe soon gets another hit.
Yeah.
Had a hit. Yeah.
Oh, that's got a bit of weight, look.
Looks like another reasonable tailor, and Joe's hoping to stay connected to this one after jumping her first fish off.
Mr. Trailer.
Coming around. There we go.
Yeah, nice tail.
Tailor are great fighters, resisting all the way to the net and often throwing the hooks in the process. But not this time.
Well done.
One.
Another eligible scorer for Joe.
Oh, look at that log.
We've found a bit of a pattern now, and we're marking lots of bait on the sounder, as well as some bigger targets.
Oh, there's a big one in on top. See
Yeah, where he's made that hole.
Yeah.
Working your lures like this definitely increases the strike rate, and I soon find myself connected to what feels like a slightly better fish.
It's gone under yours.
If this is another tailor, it's a pretty good one, but it's staying down and slugging away.
He is. It's a Jewy. How about that? I called that. Little soapy. How cute is that? Thanks, love. Oh,
That's lovely. I might get a still.
yeah, yeah. You grab your phone.
Doing the damage. The old smasher.
Smasher.
Turn his head from you. Yeah. That's nice. Just going to get in.
Yeah.
Turn his head a bit more.
Look at that beautiful little Jewy. Oh, they're just a gorgeous fish at any size. I want to get him back in. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Catching even a small mulloway in the middle of a bright sunny day on a busy estuary is always a bonus, and a testimony to how good those RT Broughton lures really are. We went on to catch a bunch more tailor and a few small flatties, but we weren't able to improve on our best sizes. Still, it had been a really satisfying Pirtek challenge for us, and proof positive that you don't need a bow-mounted electric motor to effectively lure fish in estuaries. Mind you, I can't wait to put mine back on. If you want to find out about the next Pirtek challenge, go to their page on Facebook or to the link shown below. And if you found this how-to video useful, please consider hitting the subscribe button and giving us a thumbs up. You can also help us to produce more content like this by shouting us a beer or buying us a coffee. You'll find the link to do so in the comments below. Until next time, this is Starlo and Jo wishing you tight lines.